Welcome, everybody, to the NFC Championship game preview show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to look at the Washington Commanders against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 6.5 points. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. The Eagles have been there recently for the Commanders. It's been a long time, a very long time. And this is a game that nobody expected to see here. I think people expected to see the Eagles and the Lions. The Washington Commanders took down Tampa Bay on the road in a close game at the end. They beat the Detroit Lions by 2 touchdowns, while the Eagles struggled to beat the Rams last week, but did get it done. The Eagles had red hot Saquon Barkley running over defenses in the cold. During the regular season, he combined for 55 carries for 306 yards and 4 touchdowns in the 2 games against the Commanders. And this will be the focal point once again of Philadelphia's offense. Now, Jalenhurts last week, we saw him get hobbled. We saw him play poorly. And those two things together, we watch him take multiple sacks. We watched him take a safety where he just refuses to let the ball go. He holds onto the ball too long. And right now, can Saquon Barkley by himself drag the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl? While it is possible, I think it's very unlikely that one running back can make the difference here. If you can shut down A.J. Brown in this passing game, it's going to make this team one-dimensional. Even if Saquon Barkley goes off for 200 yards, you're still going to have a hard time breaking 100 yards passing. Jalen Hurts in the passing game have been limited, and they've been horrible in the playoffs so far. Put pressure on him. Cover the wide receivers, and the Eagles are very vulnerable. The key for the Commanders is keeping A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith kind of quiet and taking their chances with the Eagles being one-dimensional. They were active in the back 7 against the Lions and got in position for key interceptions while bending without breaking. And Jalen Hurts will throw interceptions. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think Jalen Hurts is as good as Jared Goff. You throw in the feet, maybe, but throwing the ball, I don't think so. Now, the Commanders' offense against the Eagles' defense, Jaden Daniels has been the hottest quarterback in the playoffs so far. You know, he's picking great spots to run, but he has proved he is most comfortable spreading the ball around from the pocket, either throwing deep or putting receivers in position to make big plays after the catch. The Commanders are finding more key weapons as you get top receiver Terry McLaurin. He's been well supported by Brown, Eckler, and Ertz in the playoffs. The Eagles are a tough coverage defense and can bring pressure inside and out, and they can take care of the run. But if the Commanders play aggressively here and attack at different points while spreading the field, they can find a handful of exploitable matchups here. Daniels adjusted well against Philadelphia's tough defense. The 2 regular season meetings, they won the second one. But, of course, Hurts got a concussion early on in that game. You know, he's playing with a ton of confidence right now, and I think Jaden Daniels is going to keep them in the game. Now, the big X factor here to me is nobody expected the Commanders to even make the playoffs. They're playing completely with house money right now. They've not made an NFC title game in 33 years, 1991. Now, although the Lions got a lot of credit for their aggressive, high-scoring nature, the Commanders stole that mojo. And they're going to have to carry that into this game, facing a very familiar foe. Now, remember, in Week 16, Hurts got hurt. He comes into this game banged up. A lot of things could happen right here for Jalen Hurts. And one of the scariest things for me is the fact that Jalen Hurts may not make it through this game. We saw him hobbled left knee last week. And he's going to take some shots because he doesn't get rid of the ball. Now, another thing is special teams. When you look at special teams, the Eagles had the most reliable group in key situations, led by kicker Jake Elliott, punter Brandon Mann. The Commanders have seen a resurgent Zane Gonzalez and punter Tress Way. You know, they've been around forever. The Eagles, to me, may have a small advantage here, but Jake Elliott has been inconsistent at times. But special teams-wise, you've got to give the advantage to the Eagles. Now, when it comes to coaching, and coaching is always huge in a game like this, the Eagles have Nick Sirianni leading them. It was only 2 years ago they made an NFC title run with him. You've got an experienced offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. You know, I mean, defensive coordinator Vic Fangio is one of the most experienced play callers in the game. And that really boosts this young team. But when I look at Washington, Dan Quinn has done an awesome job in his first year with this team. And you've got Cliff Kingsbury. They have an attacking mindset that can become a much bigger factor than expected in this game. Cliff Kingsbury was a complete and utter failure with the Cardinals as the head coach, but he is a brilliant offensive coordinator, and he's really helped Jaden Daniels come into his own in just his rookie season. Now, the intangibles here is I think the Eagles are pressing a bit right now. Their season will be a disappointment without a return to the Super Bowl. Hurts isn't playing great. There's a lot of pressure on him. It makes the Eagles dependent on Barkley's brilliance and the defense making huge plays. The Commanders are getting better quarterback play, and the level of Daniel's youthful leadership can't be measured. I think he's a better leader than Hurts. Now, when I picked this game, the Eagles were the better team during the season. But the difference was not as big as a lot of people think, guys. The Commanders have been, big momentum on their side after taking it to the Buccaneers and Lions. The Eagles barely survived the Packers and Rams. When I look at this game, all key elements point towards a Washington Commander win. And right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are favored by 6.5 points. Do I take the points or do I go money line? If I'm betting this game, I go to BetMGM, which you can click on the link in the description down below in YouTube. And I go ahead and bet the plus 260 to 280 for the Washington Commanders to win outright. I think Washington's going to the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, unfortunately for Saquon Barkley, he's going to go home. He may rush for 200 yards this week, but he's still going to lose this game. Take the Commanders to win this game outright on the money line. If you're not feeling as bold, take the 6.5 points because I think that is a very safe bet. So take Washington, money line. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications on YouTube. Go to X. Follow me at Grueling Truth. But for now, guys, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.